subscribers. A very good evening, all of you children. Welcome back once again. We are here to discuss the another concept related to the sexual reproduction. Yes, we are discussing the chapter how do organisms reproduce, and we are on the verge of completion of this chapter. Yes, by the next week, by the end of next week, we're going to complete this chapter, and I hope children you're coming to the session after attempting the pre-class activities, and after the session gets over, please do always attempt the past Embibe assignment so that you know whether you have understood the concept or not. And before we start, let me introduce you to myself. I am Anam. I'll be your biology expert for this session, and as you know, we have completed so many chapters, so I'm going to basically discuss more about the biology, and of course, we'll be having a lots of practice and revision sessions once we complete your syllabus. Yes, so children, let's start our today's topic, which is the female reproductive system. And yesterday we have discussed about the male reproductive system in the sexual reproduction. Yes, and today we're going to discuss about the female reproductive system and their parts and their functions. So let's start our today's session. The very first thing, children, as you know, what chapter which right now going on is the how do organisms reproduce. Yes, this is a chapter right now going on, and we have already completed the topics related to this chapter, which is the introduction to reproduction in organisms, modes of reproduction in lower organisms, sexual reproduction, and the reproductive health, which is yet to basically complete. So yes, children, if you have missed any session, if you couldn't attend that session, you can always go and check out on the past Embibe classes. Yes, you can go through that session again, and if you have any doubt, you can just come back and ask questions anytime. So yes, let's see what we have to discuss today. The concepts to be covered in today's session would be related to the whole female reproductive system and the assistance with the female sex hormones. We're going to discuss about both of them in detail. But as you know, children, what we used to do, we need to have a quick recap of what we have studied yesterday. We have studied about the male reproductive system yesterday. We have discussed about the accessory glands, and we have also discussed about the male sex hormone and their function. Yes, the male reproductive system is a group of specialized organ for the sexual reproduction, and yes, the two main function is the production of the male gamete, which is the sperm, and their delivery into the female reproductive tract. The testes are the part of the female reproductive the testes are the part of the male reproductive system where the male's gamete are being basically made. Yes, and basically the penis delivers the gametes into the female reproductive tract. Next, we have the sex hormone, which is the male sex hormone testosterone, which is basically responsible for developing the secondary sexual characteristics and also the male reproductive organs. Yes, and we have different seminal vesicles and prostate gland pouring their secretions pouring their nutrients to make the seminal fluid more nutrient rich. Yes, so this is all we have studied yesterday. If you have missed this session, if you couldn't attend this session, we have discussed respective parts, we have discussed their functions in detail. You can always watch them on the past Embibe classes. So children, without wasting any time, let's start our today's session, which is on the female reproductive system. So children, as you know, talking about the female reproductive system, you know, just like the male reproductive system, the female is also, since the internal fertilization, yes, there is an internal fertilization in humans where the fertilization takes place in the female reproductive system. Yes, and it is the most concerned about to maintain the race. Yes, the females can reproduce and basically can give birth to the young ones, and that is for the maintenance of the any race, any species. Yes, so which system? This is the system in the human, is the female body, which is going to basically give rise to a new one, give basically birth to the younger ones, and they maintain the whole head, and they maintain the race, and they maintain the species. So there are different parts of this system which are basically assisting this whole particular formation of a new child, formation of an embryo, formation of a zygote, for the fertilization, implantation, all throughout every part is basically made to assist the birth of a new one. Yes, so let's discuss about the female reproductive system in detail. So the very first thing about the female reproductive system, this is how it looks like, and the various part. We have a pair of ovaries. Yes, we have a vagina, we have a cervix, we have the uterus. Every particular part of the female reproductive system has their respective functions. Let's explore each and every part of the female reproductive system. Yes, so children, these are the parts of the female reproductive system. As you can see, children, a pair of ovaries. Yes, one ovary, two ovary, a pair of ovaries, There is this fallopian tube on both the sides. Yes, there is this uterus and there is this vagina. Yes, so these are the particular parts of the female reproductive system. So what are the functions of the female reproductive system? What are the functions they are performing? The very important function they are performing is the formation of the egg cells or the female gamete. Yes, this is what we say, male gamete and the female gamete. They produce eggs. When the particular male gamete come for the fertilization, it will look forward for the female gamete for the fertilization, which will take place inside the female reproductive system. Yes, and the other function of the female reproductive system is that it produces female sex hormones, which is responsible for the maturation. Yes, and also responsible for the formation of the secondary sexual characteristics in the female, and all the particular processes which is needed to basically give birth to the younger one will be done by the female sex hormone, assisting in the maturity and proper development of the female reproductive system. Yes, and the other function of the female is the internal fertilization, which is the main function which allows the sperms, yes, to enter into the female reproductive tract and come near the egg cell for the fusion, so that the zygote formation could take place and their respective embryo, and finally a birth of a child could happen. Yes, and it supports the pregnancy. Whole female reproductive system will basically supporting a healthy pregnancy and all of the things at a time. So this are the functions of the female reproductive system. Yes, producing eggs, supporting pregnancies, producing female sex hormones, and of course allowing the sperm to fuses with the egg cell, the fertilization, the internal fertilization. These are all the functions of the female reproductive system. Clear? I hope this is clear. As we move forward, talking more about the female reproductive system and their parts, next we have the very first thing, a female reproductive system which have a pair of ovaries, as you can see, a uterus, fallopian tube, cervix, and the vagina. We're going to basically click on each and every reproductive part and learn about them. Let's talk about the ovary first. So children, as we talk about the ovary first, yes, as we talk about the ovaries are in pairs. Yes, ovaries are in the pair. The female reproductive system, two ovaries are there. They are in a pair, and basically they are present on the either side of the uterus. Yes, as you can see, children, this is your uterus. Yes, and these are the pair of ovaries present on the either side of the uterus. What is the function of the ovaries? Ovaries have a very important function, and of course the very most important function to perform in the female reproductive system is to produce eggs, or of course you can call it as female gamete, and they are also responsible for the formation of the female sex hormones. Yes, the two primary functions, the two important function of the ovaries is to basically produce the female sex hormones and basically to produce the egg cell for the fertilization with the male gametes. Yes, and both of them, each ovaries are present on the either side of the uterus. One is here and one is here. So this is the first part of the female reproductive system and the major important part of the female reproductive system. Clear? Yes or no? Is it clear? Any questions related to it? Yes. So we have discussed about the ovaries, which is the most important part of the female reproductive system. Of course, each and every part is important because each and every part is going to assist in the successful sexual reproduction. Okay, next we're going to talk about the another part of the female reproductive system, which is the uterus. Yes, so children, what is a uterus? Which is of course a part of a female reproductive system, and what is the function of the uterus in the female reproductive system. The function of the uterus is, of course, we'll discuss. But first of all, the shape of the uterus is, it's a pear-shaped muscular structure. What do you mean by muscular? As you know, the baby, the particular infant, the embryo, the zygote is eventually going to implant inside the uterus. Yes, the whole development will take inside the uterus, and inside the uterus it is muscular, it is easily stretchable. So basically, as much as the baby grows inside the womb of the mother, the uterus is also flexible in that case, and that is why it is muscular. It keeps on increasing as the development of the child takes place. Yes, it is of course a pear-shaped. The shape of the particular uterus is a pear-shaped, and it is designed to receive and take care of the growing embryo. This is what I was talking about. The reason the uterus is muscular, they are easily stretchable because the implantation takes place after the fertilization in the uterus, and the uterus is solely responsible to take care of the embryo, to take care of the growing embryo, assisting them with all the necessary things for the good growth and development. So yes, uterus is of course the another part of the female reproductive system which is assisting in the sexual reproduction. Yes, it is a pear-shaped, it is muscular, it is stretchable, and yet it takes care of the good growing embryo for the good care and development, growth and development. So this is about the another part of the female reproductive system. Let's go back and talk about the another part which is basically present in the female reproductive system. I hope this is clear. Yes, everyone, is it clear? So next, let's talk about the fallopian tubes. Yes, let's talk about the fallopian tube. As you can see, children, this is your fallopian tube. This is how your fallopian tubes look like. Very, very important point. Children, the fallopian tube is the upper part of the uterus. As you can see, it is originating from this. This is your uterus. This is how your uterus look like. Yes, and this is originating from the upper part of the uterus. Yes, it brings egg cell to the uterus. Fertilization of the egg takes place in the ovum. So children, as soon as this egg cells which are present near either side of the ovary, either side of the uterus, we're going to produce an egg cell. The sperm is going to basically travel throughout the uterus and to reach to the fallopian tube, where the fertilization, the fusion of the male and the female gamete takes place inside the fallopian tube which is near the uterus. Yes, neither the fertilization takes place in the uterus nor it takes place in the ovary, it takes place in the fallopian tube. Yes, it is just near the uterus. The fertilization, only and only fertilization, only and only fusion of gamete, male and the female gamete inside, takes place inside the fallopian tube, not in the ovary, not in the uterus. It takes place in the fallopian tube. After all, after the I would say the fertilization, after the fusion, the rest of the work will be done by the uterus. It will go and implant on the uterine wall. Yes, it brings egg cell to the uterus and fertilization of the eggs takes place inside the fallopian tube. So the function of the fallopian tube is absolutely very clear. The fusion of the male and the female gametes takes place inside the fallopian tube. Yes, is it clear? Fusion of the male gametes and the female gametes takes place inside the female in the fallopian tube. After the fertilization is basically taking place, has already taken place in the fallopian tube, it will finally go and land on the uterine wall in the uterus and will give rise to the further development of the embryo. Will be done by the uterus. Yes, so this is about the fallopian tube. Let's discuss about the another part. Let's go back and discuss about the another part of the female reproductive tract. Yes. Let's discuss about the another part of the female reproductive tract. Next we have cervix. Let's talk about the cervix. So what is cervix, children? As you can see, cervix is the neck of the uterus and has a very small opening. Yes, the cervix is nothing but it is a very small opening which basically led to the flow of the male gametes through the uterus and go and reach it to the fallopian tube. So it is of course the neck of the uterus. Yes, this is also the neck of the uterus, and of course it joins the birth canal which is the vagina. Yes, eventually it is going to enter, it's going to open into the birth canal, and it is nothing but is a neck of a uterus, and it has a very small opening. As you can see, it is giving a pathway to the male gamete so that it can reach up to the fallopian tube. Yes, so this is the function of the cervix, which is the another part of the female reproductive system. Clear? Yes or no? Is it clear? Let's go back and discuss the another part which is left. Let's discuss about the another part which is the vagina, which is the another female reproductive part. Let's discuss what is the function. So children, vagina is an elastic canal. Yes, this is what I was talking about. This is also called as birth canal. It is opening is covered by the vulva and external genital part. Entry point. The entering of the sperm, the male gamete enters through the vagina and is basically also known as birth canal. It is also very elastic in nature, since basically it's a birth canal. After the whole maturation, after the whole gestation period, the birth of a baby is through this canal, this elastic canal only, and that is why it is also known as birth canal. So children, it is just an opening is covered by the vulva and the external genital parts. Yes, it is basically covered by the vulva and the external genital part. So this is what I was talking about. In the male, the urethra was serving as a passage for both male gametes and plus urine. But in case of a female reproductive system, the vagina is of course different and the urethra is different. Yes, the urethra is completely different opening, and there is a different opening which is the birth canal, which is the vaginal opening. They are completely different. They are completely just next to each other, but they are just completely different. The passage is different for the urine and of course for the vagina, for the birth canal. Yes, so there was a similar in the male reproductive system, but it is not similar in the female reproductive system. Yes, so this is about the all reproductive parts, all the particular parts which is present in the female reproductive system. I hope this is clear. Yes, as we go back, we have just finished all the particular parts of the female reproductive system. Yes, what we're going to do next, we're going to definitely solve a question. So now you're going to basically arrange all the particular parts of the female reproductive system and basically arrange them in the correct order. Yes, please arrange all the reproductive parts in the correct order. Yes, the correct answer would be, these are the pair of ovaries, there is a uterus, then there is a cervix, and there is the vagina. This is how basically the whole female reproductive tract is being, whole female reproductive system is being arranged. Yes. Next, let's talk about the whole functions of the respective parts of the female reproductive system. Yes, come on quickly. Just connect the bubbles with their respective functions in the female reproductive system. Yes, come on quickly. Quickly connect their functions with their particular respective functions. Yes, the correct answer is this. Yes, the vagina has a covered by the vulva. Fallopian tube is where the basically fertilization takes place, and the cervix connects the vagina and to the uterus and produces egg cell, take care of the growing embryo. These are the particular functions of the respective parts of the female reproductive system. Let's see what we have next. So children, next we have talking about, as you know, the high level of estrogen. Yes, an extremely high level of estrogen and progesterone hormones in the blood can cause cancer. Yes, of course, these particular extremely high level of estrogen and progesterone might cause a cancer in the female reproductive system. What exactly does these particular hormones are responsible for? Estrogen and progesterone are the chemical messengers and are affecting the different functions of the target cell. Yes, exactly, these are the chemical messenger and affect the function of the target cell. Yes, if the excessive amount of estrogen and progesterone basically secreted, they might affect the functioning of the different cell, and they basically have a very different impact on the different kind of cell. Let's see exactly what is the function of the estrogen and the progesterone. Yes, click on the progesterone and progesterone button to know where they are produced in the body and exactly what is their function. Let's first discuss about the progesterone, which is of course the another female sex hormone. It is produced by the adrenal gland and is of course the ovary. Yes, and as we go back and talking about the estrogen, it is basically secreted by again adrenal gland, ovary and some fat cells. Yes, basically the estrogen will give rise, basically going to impact the fat cells, and of course adrenal gland and ovary are responsible for the production of the estrogen. So of course both the progesterone and estrogen are being secreted by the adrenal gland, and of course the ovary is going to assist. You know that ovary is basically the, just now when we started about the ovary, when we started discussing about the ovary, we know that the secretion, the hormone secretion is done by the ovary. So these are the two sex hormones which is being secreted by the particular gland, and of course in the body have a different target cell. As we discussed about the functions of the ovary, let's discuss about the function of the estrogen. The very essential, this is the molecular structure children, and this is a female reproductive system where basically the estrogen is going to basically impact. What is the function of the estrogen? Essential for the development and maturation of or female reproductive parts. Yes, estrogen is absolutely important for the development and the maturation of the female reproductive parts. Sneha, what you want me to repeat? Be very specific. Yes, I'm not going to repeat the whole session. Just give me the particular question. Yes, function of the estrogen. The function of the estrogen is to basically lead to the development of, yes, the ovary should be fine, the cervix, the uterus, the vagina, everything should be properly developed during the growth and development. It is being basically take care by the estrogen. And of course, the secondary sexual characteristics in a female, that is also being taken care by the estrogen. This is the female sex hormone. All the secondary sexual characteristics in a female, yes, all is basically taking place, all is basically covered by the estrogen. So this is the function of the estrogen, which is being secreted by the ovary, which is a female sex hormone. It takes care of the development and the maturation of the female reproductive organ, and it is also taking care of the development of the secondary sexual characteristics in a female. So this is what is the molecular formula of the, just you don't have to remember it, it is just a depiction. This is how the structural formula, this is how it is basically the estrogen have the following. As we talk about the function of the estrogen, next we are going to talk about the function of the progesterone. Yes, what are the functions of the progesterone? Just like estrogen, the progesterone also have a different kind of function. What? The very important function. Yes, it prepares the inner lining of the uterus for the fertilized eggs. Yes, as you know, the menstruation, we are going to discuss that tomorrow. After the fertilization, after the egg has been fertilized and the fusion has already taken place in the fallopian tube, the progesterone prepares the uterus. It prepares the uterus with the lining, yes, and so that easily that fertilized egg can easily implant on the layer, on the lining of the uterus. That is the function of progesterone. It is going to fully support the pregnancy. Yes, it is going to support the pregnancy. So this is the function of progesterone. Please remember, both of the female sex hormones have a different functions to perform. The estrogen is completely related to the development of the secondary sexual characteristics and the female reproductive system. On the other hand, if we talk about the progesterones, progesterones are responsible for preparation of the uterus. The inner lining of the uterus will be prepared, and it is going to support the implantation, and it is going to support the full pregnancy gestation period in the female. Yes, these are the particular different functions of the estrogen and as well as the progesterone. Clear? Yes or no? Is it clear? Everyone, is it clear what is the function of the female reproductive system and what are different parts of the female? Tomorrow we are going to discuss about this only. What happens if the egg is not fertilized? Yes, we are going to discuss about that in the tomorrow's session. Do not miss the session because that menstruation cycle is absolutely important. We are going to discuss about that. So please do register for the upcoming classes. Yes, we'll meet at the same timing. We are going to discuss about that if the fertilization is not taking place in the fallopian tube, what happens? What happens after that? You're going to discuss about that in tomorrow's lecture. Do not miss. This chapter is absolutely important from your board examination point of view. So please, I request you to do not miss this session. Yes. So these are the functions of the progesterone and estrogen functions we have already discussed. Yes. Shall we move forward? Yes. Shall we move forward? Let's discuss more about. Next we have our functions. Come on, quickly drag and drop the functions of the particular estrogen and progesterone. Just now we have discussed their functions. Now quickly drag and drop the correct functions of the estrogen and progesterone. Yes. Yes, come on, quickly answer this. What is the correct answer? Correct. Yes, the function of the estrogen, it is essential for the maturation of the uterus and the vagina. It is responsible for the changing happening during the puberty. Yes, secondary sexual characteristics. Next, the progesterone prepares the inner lining of the uterus for the fertilization and is going to support the pregnancy. These are the particular functions of the progesterone and the estrogen. Yes. Let's see, next we have what? Next question, which of the following organs secrete estrogen and progesterone only during pregnancy? Yes. Which of the following is going to basically secrete the estrogen and progesterone during pregnancy? Come on, quickly let me know. Yes. Yes, the correct answer would be the placenta would be responsible for that. Absolutely true. So children, this brings to our end of this session where we have already discussed about the female reproductive system and we have discussed about the female sex hormones and their functions and the respective functions or the respective function of the particular parts in the female reproductive system which are present has been already discussed. So children, tomorrow we are going to discuss about what happens if the egg is not fertilized. After that, what is the function, how the menstruation cycle takes place inside the human female body. Yes, we are going to discuss about in the tomorrow's session. Do not miss the session. Yes. So children, we are going to basically next, let's see what we have. Next, we are going to discuss about that only. Do females also produce male sex hormones and vice versa? Do you think that the female also have certain secretions of the testosterone, or the male also have a certain secretion of estrogen. We're going to basically discuss that also tomorrow. So children, what is this? This is your Embibe app. You can log in through your phone number or your email ID. What you have to do, you have to just go, click the school exam, CBSE, select your particulars. 10 CBSE, select your language, and then as you land on this page, go for the home page button and go to the Embibe live classes. Yes, ongoing Embibe live classes. This is basically the female reproductive system. This is right now we are talking about. Yes, these are the upcoming today's classes. These are the classes for the next 7 days. So that's why I'm telling you. Tomorrow we're going to discuss about the menstrual cycle. What you have to do, you have to just register yourself. Check out the pre-class activity. Do not miss this session. This is absolutely very important for you for the particular examination. You can learn, you can practice, you can test, and you can see how much you have achieved throughout this app. This is a one-stop solution. Next, what we have, the Embibe Lens app. You can just scan the text. It will highlight all the keywords and will show you everything in the 3D. Next, what we have next, we have Embibe Telegram channel. Please scan this barcode. Join us on the Telegram channel so you never miss an update regarding anything. We will meet again tomorrow discussing about the menstrual cycle in detail. So do not miss this session. Until then, keep imbibing. Take care. Bye-bye.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.